Welcome back, my Jedi friends. And today I ask you the question, are you lost in the chaos of the world today? Lost in the chaos, folks. Now, if you're like me, if you're highly sensitive, you may feel occasionally that somehow you don't feel like you're meant to be here. Somehow this does not feel familiar. Somehow the world has gone mad around you, and somehow you feel isolated. You feel isolated because the lunacy has spread, and somehow you managed to have dodged the bullet that infected everybody. And you are looking around in all of this madness, thinking, what the fuck is going on here, folks? So that is a reality of my world. So in my world, this happens to me quite a lot. And it dawned on me amongst my empath friends that this is not a phenomenon that is singular to me. So I'm going to talk about this today in order that the right people will find this video and realize that you're not alone and that this is happening for a reason, my Jedi friends. It's happening for a reason. So most people are lunatics and they don't realize it yet. I'm a lunatic, but I realized it pretty much from as early as I can remember because I grew up in a lunatic asylum. So I was actually uniquely founded to stamp my lunacy all over the planet. From the youngest age I can remember being at school, people talking to me, telling me I was a lunatic on day release, and I owned it, folks. I owned that mantle. Now, to some people, that would be, oh no, that's a mean thing to say to me. I came to quite like it. I came to quite like being the lunatic, and I'll tell you why. So, from a purely practical point of view, for me growing up, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. Different generation, different people. And only people that were there will actually get this. It was a dangerous time, folks, in many respects. That there were lunatics, there were real live, what I call bona fide lunatics wandering around that would do you some serious damage for no reason. For no reason. Soccer hooliganism, all of this nonsense. Soccer, what am I calling it that for? I'm in the UK, for God's sake. Football hooliganism is what we had. We had all of this nonsense going round at school. There'd be gangs of people going around to have fights with other schools. It was the norm back in the day, folks. It was the norm. There were lunatics everywhere. And luckily, I managed to avoid most of that lunacy because people thought I was a lunatic, because I lived in the grounds of a psychiatric hospital, because the rumor was that I was on day release. So, what used to happen in that circle is that real lunatics, well, could argue that I'm a real lunatic. Of course I am. But I mean, people that would do serious damage or harm to you for no apparent reason other than they just could. And we had plenty of those in our school, in our area, in our vicinity. They would generally give me a wide berth because they weren't sure, folks. They weren't sure whether I was one of them, whether I was a lunatic or not. So it did me a huge favor having that mantle. But as life's gone on, there's certain situations where I see the way that people go. A lot of people follow the herd, they do things. And I've always found myself doing things differently. And I realize that there is a group of people spread into different corners of the world that are probably going through the same thing right now. Feeling disconnected, not following the herd. For me, what did that look like? It meant, well, most people were getting jobs and settling down and getting married and doing all of the things that most people do. I was traveling around the world. I was coming back working intensively for 6, 7, 8, 9 months sometimes, and then getting a one-way ticket to a far-flung destination and just traveling and enjoying my life, enjoying the world, experiencing things. Now, this isn't normal. It's not normal, folks. You're not normal. And if you're watching this video and resonate with it, you're probably used to not being normal. And who wants to be normal anyway? Shit, I can't think of anything worse. It's right up there with being nice or lovely. The titles that nobody wants to be put on them. They sound nice, but they're anything but. It's the worst thing. It's like being a nice guy, being a lovely guy, being a great friend. Back in the day, it's every teenage bloke's nightmare. being put in the friend zone, for being too nice, for being a lovely guy. So anyway, I've got sidetracked. I've gone off down a rabbit hole there, folks. Let me drag myself back. Let me drag myself back and say that there are people out there, you may be one of them, that are feeling increasingly isolated as the world gets madder and madder. And let's just call this out. And I have to be careful with this because this could get my video taken down. But world events of late, and let's talk about the last 4 or 5 years, specifically, where the governments have gone mad, people have gone mad, crazy shit has been happening. People are being asked to do stuff that doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel in your best interests, that could have detrimental effects on you. Plenty of things like that at the moment, folks. Told what you can think, told what you can say, or if you look like me, perpetually having the things like racist thrown at you or Islamophobe. Like if ever I open my mouth and say anything bad about anyone, there's plenty of people out there that they don't want to have a debate. They're just going to throw a label on it and shut you up. Shut you up. Shut it, fella. So, yeah, there's a lot of that at the moment. The age of healthy debate seems to be dead, folks. And here in the UK, you can get yourself time now for posting the wrong meme on social media. And worse still, they'll release a sex offender to find Rube in the jail to put you in. All these dodgy memers thrown into jail and let out the sex offenders, and some of who are reoffending on the same day. You could not make this up, folks. If this was a film script, I would say, no, no, that's just not real. That's some mad dystopian future. And yet here it is. Here it is on our doorsteps. We're living it at the moment, folks. We are in that dystopian movie. And is it real? Who voted these lunatics in? Where did they come from? And whoever is responsible for this needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror, folks. But it's divide and rule. We're right back at divide and rule. You've got a group of people that are putting people into different groups, different racial groups, and dividing them up, putting them against each other. So everyone's fighting, everybody's shouting at each other, nobody listens to each other anymore. And the bottom line is, for anyone in halfway sensible, it's very isolating, folks. It's very isolating. It feels very revolutionary sort of era that if you say the wrong thing, you could be hurtled into the back of a van and taken down to your nearest jail for saying the wrong things. Because the thought police are out now. We have the thought police have turned up to make the world a safer place for us. But us Jedis, we know better. We know better, folks. And we have to navigate it. So there's me going off on a bit of a spin there to say that it's very easy to feel isolated right now, folks. And this is happening for a reason. This is a call for people to step up and have your voice heard. This is a point for all of you quiet rebels in the corners of the planet now to get together and to start to do something about the lunacy that is out there. And what can you do? Well, we can raise the vibration by focusing on a positive thing or more positive things. And the only way you do that is to keep in the positive energy of positive people thinking positive things most of the time. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to be all positive all of the time. No, no, no. If you follow this channel, you'll know that is not the case. That is not the case. Just do it most of the time. Most of the time, folks, because you're being called. The transition of the planet is happening. The vibration is raising. And part of raising the vibration is this chaotic catalyst that precedes it. And it feels very isolating. It feels very rebellious. It feels like there's a lot of madness in the world. And this is apparently, this is completely normal. This is part of the transitional phase, but it can feel very chaotic if you're caught in the middle of it. If you're highly sensitive, if you're an empath, if you feel the energy, you feel the vibes, you feel all this lunacy around you. And part of it is to remind you just that there are a set of exercises that we have on this channel that can help you to free up your energy and to put yourself in a better place. That's what this channel's about. And if you want more of that, my Jedi friends, if you want the tips, if you want to feel how to feel less isolated, how to tap into a community of more positive people doing more positive things and helping you to focus on a more positive planet, then you may want to like and subscribe to this video, which you can do just there. And if you want another piece of the jigsaw, you will find that there, my Jedi friends. So you will go out, you will stay positive, and you will keep the vibration of the planet on a higher plane.